Okay, let's just jump right in because the
Hey,
story
everyone,
we're
and
unpacking from the sources you've brought today, it's almost hard to believe.
It really is.
We're starting with this job description that, well, for one woman, tragically involved sleeping with dogs.
It's the most shocking part, grabs you straight away, right?
Yeah.
But as you said, this deep dive needs to go way beyond just that one horrifying point.
Exactly, because these sources, they tell the story, the incredibly harrowing journey of Sabina Sidi.
A mother of 3 from Tanzania.
Yeah, and about a year ago, she went looking for a better life, took a job as a maid in Saudi Arabia.
And what we need to do here is really try to understand the layers of it all, the exploitation, the violence, the absolute betrayal she experienced.
But also, and this is crucial from the sources, her incredible strength, her resilience, the courage it took just to survive.
Absolutely. It's astonishing.
So just a heads up for you listening, this is tough material. It's a painful story.
And the sources strongly suggest this isn't just a one-off, that Sabina's experience might reflect a wider, darker reality for others.
So let's start at the beginning of her time.
Initially.
For how long?
Maybe 2-3 weeks. She actually enjoyed the work at first. That little glimmer of, maybe this will work out.
Right, but that feeling didn't last.
No, not at all. The sources indicate she quickly realized it wasn't just the woman of the house, there was the husband, and several older sons living there too.
And she described that environment as having many temptations.
Which became a problem very fast. Sabina talks about the husband walking in, finding her resting, lying down.
And he started touching her.
Yeah, started touching her. And the sources really emphasize her shock, her feeling completely powerless.
And what really trapped her, reading the sources, it seems like it was the fear of the local laws.
Exactly. She felt that if she was found, with someone else's husband, the penalty could be extreme.
Like potentially death or being sent home in disgrace, which she felt would ruin her family's reputation back home.
That fear. It was a powerful means of control, based on her account.
So what did she do
Yeah.
initially?
Well, the sources say she tried stubborn resistance, ignored him, denied his advances, but she felt constantly tested.
Tested.
Yeah, like tested on every possible ground. There was this unspoken thing she picked up on, like, if you refuse the boss,
Well,
you prepare for what is to come.
wow. And the cruelty, it wasn't just him. This is where the sources get really, really chilling about the whole family. Sabina describes this moment, the family calling everyone together and giving this specific instruction.
That no one should speak to her nicely.
Exactly. Speak to her harshly with pressure and treat me with contempt. That exact phrase.
And the goal, as she understood it, was explicit, to break her, just break her spirit.
It wasn't just about work, it was psychological degradation.
And it quickly became physical, too.
She talks about being beaten, slapped, brutally.
Yeah. And questioning, does the law even allow this? This level of disrespect, of degradation, feeling so alone, surrounded by people who hated her.
The sources then detail this terrifying incident. The man beat her and then called people he called bandits.
To try and kill her, yeah. Attacked her. She felt she had to fight back just to survive.
And all this time, she's battling this fear, this anger. She wants justice, but survival is number one.
Especially because of her family back in Tanzania. She couldn't bear the thought of dying abroad, bringing them that kind of misfortune. Her kids were her driving force.
So the father's harassment maybe eased off a bit, but then
Then the son started. The 32-year-old son began making advances.
which just highlights that vulnerability, right?
Right.
Passports taken, often confined to the house. How do you escape someone inside the house?
It's incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
And what's really insidious here, according to the sources, is how this son started.
How so?
Sabina says he was the only nice one at first. Talked to her a lot. They became sort of friendly.
Giving her false hope, maybe.
Exactly. Making her think, oh, maybe things will get easier now.
Yeah.
It was like a setup, a cruel one.
And how did that break down?
The sources detail this one night. She was in bed after prayers, and she felt an arm go around her.
It was him.
It was the son. She was shocked, woke him up, told him to leave, threatened to scream.
And his reaction.
He apologized, promised it wouldn't happen again. She even tried to, counsel him, saying she spoke to him as I would have guided my younger brother.
But that trust was shattered.
Instantly, she realized, people's words meant nothing there. The friend was just another predator.
This is so complex because the sources then say a relationship actually developed between them. They started living together.
It seems so, yes. But when the rest of the family found out,
Oh, no.
the violence exploded again. The family called them both together, repeated that awful instruction about treating her harshly.
And then they beat her again, the family.
Renewed brutal beatings and slapping. The bandits again, attacking her, trying to kill her. She felt attacked without even understanding why they hated her so much.
There was another incident too, right, with the son?
Yeah, separate. The night after she told him to leave her room, he just slapped her out of nowhere.
And her reaction?
She screamed, cried, prayed. The sources really highlight that as an act of immense courage in that environment, just reacting honestly like that.
So, understandably, her fear just grew and grew. The hate was overwhelming.
And she decided she had to ask for a transfer, which the sources call a gutsy gamble.
Because you just don't know what you're getting into next.
Right. But staying felt like a death sentence. It was the only way out she could see.
So she manages to get the transfer, desperate for a fresh start.
But the previous owners sabotaged her. Horrifically. They got to the new workplace before she did.
And did what?
Prepared my downfall, she said. Bad-mouthed her so badly that nobody there wanted her.
Oh, that's just heartbreaking. After everything.
Crushed her. Realizing the people who wanted her dead also destroyed her chance for maybe some peace. She pleaded with the new people, explained she couldn't go through that again, begged for a genuinely better place.
Did they send her back?
Thankfully, no. She ended up at another place. And initially, it seemed okay.
Like, actually nice.
Yeah, the sources say it was a very nice place. She got a week's rest, pleasant room, felt treated like human for the first time in ages. There were even other workers there at first.
Okay, maybe a glimmer of hope then.
A fleeting one. The other workers left, and then the male boss called her into his room.
And this is where we get to that part of the story everyone heard about.
Exactly. Though it's so important to remember the context, everything she'd already endured to get to this point.
Right, so he calls her in and asks her.
You know the job you came here to do.
And she's confused.
Totally confused. She lists her normal duties, cleaning, washing, cooking. But she said his question made her uneasy. Made her think, wait, am I supposed to do something more?
He then takes her on this tour of his animals.
Yeah, his breeding business, he called it. Fish, ducks, pigeons. And then he takes her to the doghouse.
Which was like a human house, the sources say, with 4 dogs inside.
Mm-hmm. And then he just says it directly.
So I brought you here to sleep with these dogs.
Just like that. In her mind, it just couldn't grasp it at first.
She thought it was a joke.
Yeah. Or a misunderstanding. She asked him, sleep with them in what way?
And he lied again initially.
Well, he said feed them, clean them, take care of them. So she quickly agreed, relieved, thinking, okay, just pet care. Easy enough.
The sources quote her saying, sleep with dogs, isn't it spooky fish to hear the first time? That phrasing.
It's chilling. And for that first week, it was just pet care. She slept on the porch, dogs were calm.
Then,
after a few days, their behavior changed. Disturbingly. The sources say they started trying to sleep with her or even engage in sexual activities.
like, specifically.
One incident, a dog started licking her breasts, her legs. It terrified her.
So she went to the boss. Pa, she called him.
Yeah, went to report it. Said, the dogs are bothering me.
And his response, this is just...
Unbelievable. He laughed, and then explained.
What?
These dogs also have feelings like human and have desires too, so it was asking you to sleep with it and have sexual intercourse.
She must have been floored.
Completely. Her reaction in the sources is shock. Can a person have sex with a dog? She didn't even know it was possible.
And that's when he made it explicit.
Absolutely explicit. Reminded her, he said her job was sleeping with the dogs, and clarified, I wasn't just talking about sleeping with them, but also having sex.
Just stated it like it was normal.
With a straight face as if it was natural, the sources say.
And she asked about all 4 dogs. They were all males.
Yes. She asked if it was all 4,
Yeah.
and he confirmed.
His words.
Yes. You will start with the one that touched you, and then the others will follow.
I can't even... The terror. Speechless. Where do you even go? Who do you report that to?
Exactly her thoughts. Neighbors. She just sat there for an hour, the sources say, paralyzed, but her mind racing. How to escape.
She knew she had to play along for now.
Survival instinct kicked right in. She had to buy time. So she asked him, okay, when should I do this?
And he said,
anytime.
And this is where her quick thinking is just incredible.
Truly remarkable. After
Yeah.
a moment, she says, please give me 2 days to think about it.
Her reasoning.
This is new for me. I want to get comfortable about this situation first. The sources call it a very smart way to borrow some time.
And he agreed.
He agreed.
But she wasn't done buying time.
Nope. After 2 days, she went back, said she still couldn't decide, couldn't do it, and she used her period as an excuse.
Asking for more time.
Asked for another 2 weeks to recover, and again, he agreed. Told her to get well soon.
So smart. She was on her period, but she needed that time.
Desperately. To figure out how to escape.
Yeah.
She used those 2 weeks to get familiar with the area outside.
Okay, so did she find a chance?
An opportunity came up, yeah. The boss left one day. Told her specifically not to open the door.
So she packed her stuff.
Packed her bags quickly.
Yeah.
But she didn't know. He'd left guards watching her.
Oh no, she got caught.
Caught right as she was leaving. 2 guards grabbed her, took her back inside.
And then what?
Locked her in this small, foul room. Airless, hard to breathe. The sources add this grim note, that maids caught escaping there can face inhuman things, even being killed sometimes.
So the boss comes back, finds her locked up.
And he beat her. Brutally. Caused wounds, bleeding. Gave her, according to the sources, his first and last warning.
God. How did she react?
Survival mode again. The sources show her begging for forgiveness, just purely to save her life.
And he let her out.
He did. Let her out. Back to her regular room, not the dog room. Which, the sources chillingly note, showed he had some humanity. What a standard.
But she knew she still had to get out.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely resolved. But she'd played the part. Promised him she wouldn't escape again. She'd do everything he asked. All a lie, she said, to gain their trust back.
Waiting for another chance.
Exactly. She healed for about a week, then told him she was ready. Ready to work with the dogs. The lie.
And she managed to pack again. Even with cameras.
Packed her things one night, got them out of the house somehow, luckily.
The next morning.
Put the plan in motion, told the boss they needed cooking supplies, said she knew where to buy them outside.
And he gave her money.
He gave her money.
And she went.
Went straight to where she'd hidden her bags, and then, with just unbelievable courage.
She went to the authorities.
Yes. Went to the authorities, told them everything. The abuse, the dogs, the house location, the boss's name, everything.
How did they react?
The sources mention their disbelief, but also her remarkable courage and her presence of mind after all that trauma.
Did they help her? Please tell me they helped her.
They did. According to the sources, they really stepped up, helped her buy a plane ticket home, gave her 2 million Tanzanian shillings, and crucially, got her passport back.
So she flew home.
Flew back to Tanzania.
The reunion with her family.
Must have been intense. They welcomed her so warmly. The sources suggest they didn't know the full horror, but were just overjoyed she was alive. Her kids, her family, they were her strength.
And it makes you think back, doesn't it, to the agent?
The agent who took 70,000 shillings to get her the job and visa.
Yeah. And Sabina's observation in the sources is just stark.
Forgot to tell me the reality of life on the other side.
That reality. That's why this story, Sabina's story from these sources, is so important for you, the listener, to understand.
It just exposes the extreme vulnerability, doesn't it? Yeah. The hidden, awful possibilities behind what look like normal jobs abroad.
And the sources imply this isn't some freak, isolated incident. It points to something bigger. Sabina speaking out, as documented here, it's incredibly brave. It shines a light.
Her resilience, though, her courage, her sheer ability to think on her feet, to strategize under that kind of pressure. It's just profound. You have immense respect for her willpower reading this.
Absolutely. And if you look at the bigger picture the sources paint, it points to these systemic issues, right?
Totally. That power imbalance is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Employers controlling passports, movement.
And the difficulty reporting abuse, getting rights enforced, her fear of the law, her initial confusion about where to even turn for help.
It really shows that seeking a better life, as we call it, can carry these unimaginable risks if basic human dignity and safety aren't guaranteed.
Sabina's story really forces you to confront that, doesn't it? That a better life isn't just about money. It has to be about fundamental human rights, safety, dignity.
Which leads us with a question, maybe for you to think about, drawing from everything Sabina went through in these sources.
Yeah.
What does her experience tell us about this whole global movement of labor? About the protections people do, or maybe more importantly, don't have, when they cross borders trying to find work?
That's a heavy question and a really important one to sit with. Thank you for staying with us through this deep dive. It was incredibly difficult, I know, but Sabina's story, as told in these sources you shared, it's vital.
Yeah. We really hope you'll reflect on what you've heard, what stood out to you.
Keep on digging deep.